Welcome to the Musical Moods and Smoke Road Sound podcast. I'm your host, Tim Boyles, with this week's podcast. Out with the old and in with the new. What has technology done to the music business? Wow, a few years ago I would walk into Musical Moods recording studio with its $75,000 worth of equipment and spend the biggest part of the day making this podcast. Now I'm doing it in my home studio office with a $700 iPad in half of the time. Watching this tech revolution in the music business has been a real trip. I started playing music for a living in the early 60s as a piano player. Most restaurants, nightclubs, and bars had real acoustic pianos to play on. I would show up to the gig with just my fingers and maybe a fake book. That only lasted a couple years. Then came technology. Electric pianos was first. The positive with that was the piano was always in tune and all of the keys worked. But then we needed to haul around an amplifier to make it sound good. Pretty soon it took a van full of equipment just to play a simple piano-style gig. The next thing technology did to really kick the gig business was to invent the DJ. There went the wedding reception business for the live musicians. Eventually, restaurants and nightclubs started to get rid of acoustic pianos. Everything became digital and electronic. Fortunately, I can still use my fingers to play the piano, but I do a lot of button pushing these days. In my home studio, I'm spending some time changing my equipment from dated to more modern. Less space used and much lighter weight. I'm reading manuals, taking classes on new software for recording, and studying the latest keyboards. So on to the redesign of Musical Moods Studio and Smoke Road Sound. Stay tuned for more podcasts on this subject of the changing recording studio business. The featured song for this podcast is entitled Mystified. I composed this piece for ABC in New York in the mid-90s. They used it for background music on World News Now and World News This Morning. It also received some attention from agents on the West Coast that wanted to use it for Muzak-style programming. It was aired several times over the 90s and received international airplay. I hope you enjoy Mystified. You can find this piece on the Lingering Shadows album in my music store in the musicalmoods.com website. Hey, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time. This is Tim. Talk to you later.